I'm getting ready to fix breakfast for Irene. I'm going to make some eggs Benedict. It's actually pretty easy. It sounds complicated. Individual pieces are a little complicated, but they're easily handled. You just take a little practice. I have a pan with 3/4 inch of water in it. I'm going to put a little bit of apple cider vinegar in it, and then I'll be cracking eggs in to cook for the actual dish. That's about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. The whole purpose of the vinegar is to help consolidate the egg whites. I'm going to try doing something that Steve at Digwell Green Fingers showed me. I'm going to see if that actually works the way I think it will. First, I'm going to get a little bit of lemon juice into this pot. We like to have our hollandaise sauce have a little more tartness to it. So, I put about 3/4 of a tablespoon or tablespoon of lemon juice into this pot. There's about a tablespoon of water in there with it. The whole objective of making a hollandaise is to make an emulsion. The emulsion's made with egg yolk and then butter. Separate the egg white from the egg yolk. Now I'll be using these egg whites for part of the eggs, for the eggs Benedict for Irene. She can't eat these egg yolks, so I only put one in with the yolk attached so that it just looks nice. Just giving the egg yolk, water, and lemon juice mixture a quick whisk. I have my burner on simmer. It's as low as it goes. I'm going to keep that egg mixture off the burner for right now. I don't want to turn this into scrambled eggs, and I need to get some butter in the microwave to get it melted. While the butter is in the microwave melting, I'm just going to give the water and apple cider vinegar mixture a quick stir. And I'll be putting the egg whites and the whole egg in just a minute. Now this is best done in a double boiler or a bain-marie. You can just put this in another pot with boiling water or over a pot with boiling water. It makes it easier to keep the egg yolks from scrambling. I'm just heating this pan up a little bit, stirring it with my whisk. I just wanted to get it to thicken up because I'll be putting some butter in it and whisking that to create this emulsion. Well, let's go ahead and get started with putting some of the egg whites into the pan. The water is just having a little bit of bubbles show up. I don't want the water to actually be boiling a whole lot. And the objective here is to start cooking these eggs. The egg whites are going to kind of float all over the place because they're from the grocery store and they're not the freshest eggs. They're still fine, but by the time they come to our store, they're probably a week old, maybe a little longer. This comes from a large, relatively local egg farm. We've had no problem with them. They've tasted good. They look great. I just wish they were a little more yellow in the egg yolk because they don't put these birds out to pasture. Now the butter's all melted. It's warm. It's probably 110, 120 degrees. I don't want it to be really hot because, like everything else, I don't want my egg yolks to scramble. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this sieve to crack the egg into it. I'm going to do that over the sink over here because I want to get all of the egg white that will run through this screen to come out. Steve says this will keep the eggs neater. Let's find out. Well, I cracked the egg into this sieve, and some of the egg white ran through. I have a little bit in my hand, which you may not be able to see. I'm now going to put this egg into the poaching liquid. Now the 2 egg whites are here, and they're spread out as is usual when you use a store-bought egg. But the egg that I just put in, which has the yolk, is right there. And the white is not spreading out. So I guess, Steve at Digwell Green Fingers, you're right. That looks great. I'm going to try that in the future. I just put 2 English muffins, that's a total of 4 halves, in the toaster oven. It's about 4 minutes before that's going to be ready. The poached eggs are cooking along. I'm going to cook that 1 egg more than you might normally cook because I need to allow Irene to be able to pull that egg yolk apart from the egg white because she can't eat the yolk anyway. But it'll look pretty. Time to get started making the hollandaise sauce. I need this mixture to be a little thicker. So I'll go ahead and cook that just a little bit more over that very low heat. I'll start drizzling in the melted butter. Again, the butter isn't real hot. The point is to get everything to emulsify. Need a little more heat. And this is why you really want to do this over a double boiler, unless you have a lot of experience making it directly on the burner. And that's always a risk when you do that. What I do is put the pan on for a little while, and take the pan off, so I'm moderating the heat of the pan. You can make hollandaise sauce a variety of ways. Our daughter makes a whole egg hollandaise in a blender. It turns out great. Sometimes I'll make hollandaise so it's very, very thick. I'm not trying to do that today. I'm trying to make it a more runny hollandaise. That way when I put it in the refrigerator for later use, it doesn't clot quite so much. If you make it really thick, then it does have a tendency to stiffen up and clot when you put it in the refrigerator. And it's going to still get stiff because it has butterfat in it. Making your arm get tired beating is not a big deal if you're in a 105, 110 or hotter kitchen. There's other things that are going to make you think. And back over the heat for a little bit. This professional range carries more heat over in the cast iron of the top, so I can turn the temperature all the way down. I'm still going to have a lot of heat left, and that's about where I want it. Egg whites are done perfectly. The whole egg is done enough. Well, it's time to start plating this dish up. I have the English muffins in the toaster. They've just gotten done. I'm going to pull them over here and start assembling. Now when you put English muffins on a plate, they'll slide around easily. And there's a really simple trick that you can use to keep them in place. Put a small smear of your hollandaise sauce and they stay in place. I'm going to pull the eggs out. One egg white, the second egg white. Now I didn't try to strain any of the egg white off of these particular pieces because I want the entire egg white to be available for Irene. Here's a perfectly poached egg. Thanks, Steve. I put these poached eggs onto a plate, separate plate, because I'm going to soak all the water up. I don't want to have this dish swimming in water. I like to make this dish with Canadian bacon. Now we buy this Canadian bacon in large packs at the big box store. I put 3 pieces of the Canadian bacon on the English muffins. I put the egg white on each side. And my perfectly poached egg in the middle. Hollandaise sauce over the top. Now this is a relatively high-fat dish, so you don't want to eat it every day, but once a month or on a special occasion is a nice thing. Time to go take it into the dining room and give Irene her breakfast. Well, Irene's in the dining room happily munching away on her eggs Benedict. I'm poaching 2 eggs for myself. Then I'll be joining her. I hope this is of some interest to you. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications because our channel can't grow without you. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Don't forget to brainstorm. No clouds in the sky, but we're still brainstorming.